What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So, I have been redoing my band's in-ear rack. We had a bunch of shows, and there were some things I wanted to add to the rack, and I kind of needed to just clean some things and reroute some stuff, and just kind of tidy it up, do a little bit of maintenance on it. So, I figured while I had it out here, and I was kind of nearing the end of that process, I would do an update, and just kind of run you guys through the rig. And I kind of felt like in my old rack video, I kind of glossed over some things. I feel like I didn't really go in depth about like really how some of the stuff works. And I've had a couple people ask me, about that video recently and like building a system like this. So I figured I'd just make an update to it since I've added some things and kind of streamlined it a little more. And now that we've been using it for a long time and we kind of really have it dialed in how we like it and we know a lot more about it. So we're going to get into that and get in depth with this. So here we go. Alright guys, so we'll start in the front of the rack. Down here we have a Seismic Audio splitter snake. So this is a 16 channel snake. It's just rack mountable. And the cool thing about this snake is it is a splitter snake. It has two tails. So I will take you around to the back and show you why it has two tails. Forgive the back here. I have to go get some zip ties to do some cable management. So I'm not quite done yet, but that aside. So here's one of the tails. And as you can see, it goes to kind of the brains of the whole thing, the Behringer XR 18, which is our mixer. And so this tail plugs in all the channels, 1 for 1, 16 channels, there they are. And then there's another tail here that comes out and goes to front of house. And so this is what I give the sound guy. And I have a list that I give him so that, he knows what all these channels are. And that's all he's got to do is plug these into his snake. And we have to mic, all of our stuff, right? And it will all run into our rig here. So, like as you can see, there's some stuff here that's already hardwired in. Like, for example, this is our Singer's wireless mic. And got this nifty little drawer here to kind of keep things tidy. That's his mic, and it is hardwired into channel 1. So channel 1 on that snake goes to whatever channel, they have on their snake at the venue as main vocals, and that's it. We got bass hardwired in too. This is our bass player's bass amp. It's a little dark glass. What is it? I can't remember what the model number is, but it's a little 200 watt one. And it's hardwired. It's got a direct out on the back of it, hardwired into here. And then he has a speaker cable that comes out of the back of it that goes to a 212 cab that he likes to have on stage for him. And then this is a stereo direct box. So this stereo direct box is for our backing tracks and our click track. So our drummer has all the backing tracks pre-mixed down onto his phone. I know some bands will use a laptop. If we had more complicated backing tracks, we would probably do that too, but our backing tracks are pretty simple. And so we just went ahead and rendered them all down and mixed them all down and put them on our drummer's phone. And then he has a cable that comes out of his phone that splits. So one side is the tracks and the other side is the click. So the tracks go into here just like everything else does and split out for front of house. The click does not go into this. It's hardwired straight into the Behringer. So there's zero chance that the click track is going to come through front of house, because that would be terrible if that happened. So that's stereo direct box number 1. Stereo direct box number 2 is for guitars. So in Witch Hunter, I'm the only guitar player. So I just use one side of this. Wham bam, there it is. But one of my other bands I play with, we have 2 guitar players, and we have similar rigs. I use a Headrush MX5, and he also uses a Headrush MX5. And so we can both plug into this direct box just using regular guitar cables, coming out into 2 channels here, and then same deal, the Snake sends it all at the front of house. For drums, we mic the drums, and then we just plug the mic cables into here, and same deal, splits it all out to our board, sends it all out that way to front of house. Let's see. Here we have a USB charging station, and what this is for, see, it's got 4 USB-Cs and 4 USB-As. What this is for is our packs. So we use these X5 U4s, which are really nice. They're super compact. They got rechargeable batteries, so we don't have to eat through batteries. But the downside of being rechargeable is if they die in the middle of a show, you can't just swap batteries out real quick. So I like having this bank here to really make sure we can have everything charged all the time and not, be in the middle of a set and be like, oh no, I forgot to charge my pack at home or whatever, right? And so there's the other part of it. And so this right here is another Snake. It is just like 4 XLR cables kind of bound up into one. And so what that does is it lets me come out of the bus sends for the Behringer, so that we don't have to try to get these little transmitters in here and finagle them in here, because it's kind of a pain. So one of my cats is very talkative today. Anyway, so yeah, that's what this Snake is for. Just so we don't have to try to cram them things up in there all the time. We can just pull the Snake out and set it up here and plug them in, and we're good to go. See, that is our Wi-Fi router. See if I can get my phone to focus. Wi-Fi router. So the Behringer has its own built-in Wi-Fi, but it's not great. It was real bad about dropping a lot, and so everyone, that I talked to definitely recommends using an external Wi-Fi router to just, have a better range, have a more consistent signal. That way you don't have to worry about things dropping out on you. See, this is just a power conditioner. Everything plugs into this, and then there's just this one cable that goes out for power. And then as far as how we're running everything, we have this iPad here, and I'm using Mixing Station. That's the app that controls the Behringer. And Mixing Station is a third-party app, but the Behringer app, again, is not great. I didn't like it, so this app works a lot better. And as you can see here, we have our own individual in-ear mixes. They're all labeled. So if you come over here, click on mine, here's, so we got all the channels labeled as to what they are, and then I can control how much I get, and everyone's different. Everyone has full control, control of their individual mix, and it doesn't affect anyone else, which is phenomenal. And the sound guy doesn't have to worry about running monitors for us. He doesn't have to do any of that. It's just front of house for him. And then, let's see, like I said, our bass player has a little 212 cab that he has on stage for him. And what I do is I have one of the Headrush, it's the 112 powered Headrush speakers. And what I usually do is just set it on top of the rack behind me. And then I use another one of the sends off the Behringer to run to it. And you can see here I've got it labeled guitar monitor. And that's it. That's all that's in it is my guitar. And that's just how I have some stage volume if I need it. And that is pretty much it. That's the whole rig. And this, has replaced, like I said, I used to use a Marshall cab and a Marshall head and a big pedal board. And our bass player used to have an 810 cab and all this stuff, right? this has replaced all that, and we have in-ear capabilities and the backing tracks and the click track and everything else. So when we go to a show, it's this rack, that Headrush speaker for my guitar, a little 212 GK bass cab, and drum set. That's it. That's all we have to take to shows, and it has made setup time and teardown time so much faster, especially on these, shows with like 4 or 5 bands where you're having to swap in and swap out. It's made things super easy. So I really dig it. And if you guys have been interested in kind of how to put one of these together, again, this is just how we have kind of configured things and settled on things. There's a million different ways to do this, but this is how it's working for us and kind of how we have it laid out. So hope that helps you guys if you've been thinking about doing this. This is definitely a pretty simple way to go about doing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a comment. Let me know if you already have a system like this, if you're thinking about building one, kind of what route you're going with it. And hopefully this helps. So I hope you guys liked the video, and I will be back next week.